Hi, everyone. All right, so today I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into ActiveCampaign. Liza, you're so cute with your comments. My little niece yesterday, she was being so patient with me and had a little bit of screaming going on in the background, but I am back to just me, myself, and I. So let us get into ActiveCampaign once again. And I want to show you how to create lists, the importance of lists, as well as why we use tags. So I guess we will start. Actually, I will share my screen and let's get into this. So ActiveCampaign, we should probably sign in first. So once again, these are tutorials with ActiveCampaign. I love ActiveCampaign because it's a CRM-based email programmer. And as you can see on this left-hand side, all the different connections and different variables that we have. So yesterday I kind of gave you like the rundown of this, but today I really want to discuss lists and connecting them into your website. So for this example, we're actually going to use this page, which some of you all saw because I'm running an ad to this page. And this gets you into this Facebook group. So it's super fun. And I'm going to show you kind of what I mean on drop funnels with lists. So I'm not going to open the Facebook group list because obviously that's everyone's information, but I will open one of these that have 0 and kind of show you some things that you'll need to know. So within every list, so essentially every time that you launch a product, a program, a freebie, an offer, whatever it is, you need to create a list. And if your email programmer doesn't run off lists or groups, then you can fault to tags. So I will say ActiveCampaign is list-based. I think Ontraport list-based, MailerLite list-based. MailChimp is actually group-based as well as heavy with tags. What are some of the other ones? Let's see what they pull up. Oh, Aweber is list-based. Constant Contact is like list group-based. ConvertKit and Drip I haven't used yet. Infusionsoft is crazy. But I think for the most part, we'll say they're list-based, but Infusionsoft does rely heavily on tags. So I don't know Sendinblue, and then GetResponse. I feel like I've been on there, but I can't remember. So for the most part, it's either going to be a list or a tag or a group, right? So as you come in here and you're creating a list, you're actually doing two different things. So you create a list and you're actually also creating tags. So the cool thing with any of your funnel builders is you can actually add a tag, as you can see it to the bottom. So this FB group tag will auto populate into here. As you can see, FB group. If you don't have a tag already set up, or you can manage tags yourself if you know what the tag is going to be called, right? So Calendly, they all integrate right over. And then you can create different tags, based on what you want and how you want that process to kind of look like. And then you go back into your lists and then you just add a list. So you name it, you put a URL, which would most likely just be your website, and then a little bit of a description. You click add, and then it would kind of pop into something like this. So this is obviously empty, but when you connect this list over, there's a couple of things. This number, so list ID 3. So sometimes when you are integrating your funnels, it'll ask you for a list ID, and that's actually this little number up here on ActiveCampaign. So sometimes like through Kajabi, you can integrate your accounts just by putting in your list ID and setting up a connection between ActiveCampaign and Kajabi. So it's really easy. Drop funnels, as you can see, it just drops down. So ActiveCampaign, you select your account, you select your list, or you could do a form, but for the most part, we default to list, and then you select whatever list you want. And then of course you tag it accordingly too. And then you just hit save, right? So when they hit send me my invoice, then this name, number, and email address auto populates into the list. And of course you can get notifications if you want them. But essentially what you're doing is not only organizing, but then you can go in and create a sequence for this list, right? So for example, we're just going to use this as the Calendly market research. So we're going to create an automation on this, which is essentially if you want to just have a confirmation email sent out, like automatically triggered to the list or the tag, then you can just set up an automation for either list or tag. And then for this one, we're just going to start from scratch. And essentially this first trigger point, see, subscribes to a list. Let's see, or when a tag is added. So when you're subscribing to a list, that works great when you connect your funnel straight over, but you can also incorporate a tag if you're tagging from some other form. So like with that Facebook group, we can say this tag. So I could say Facebook group, see how it pops up. So when that tag is triggered and associated with the name, then it'll run, right? Or you could say for the most part, so subscribes to a list. So not any list. Let's start with just market research. It runs once. So you just want it to run once. You don't necessarily want it to run multi. You just want it to keep like running once. Okay. So then it opens up to pretty simple. You just want to send a thank you email straight ahead, right? So you create your email. Thanks so much. You can create templates and everything. So thanks so much for signing up. Here are your next steps. Thanks so much for opting in. Here's your download. Click for your download. Click to access your download, or you can like put your download straight in the email. But essentially what you're doing is you're then building out a sequence from here. So we're not going to get into full automation on this training because it's more about the importance of lists and tags. So we'll get into this a little bit later, but that is essentially why we like to create different lists, because what we're doing is we market differently to all of these different lists, right? So if I have, excuse me, if I have Facebook groups, so you people, you are totally different than these drop funnel leads because these guys came from a webinar. So if I start marketing you about webinar content that these people went through, y'all would have no idea what I'm talking about, right? So you're going to get really, really, really confused as to where this is coming from. Why is she talking about this? She doesn't even know what she's talking about, and you're going to unsubscribe. That's why we don't have just a general email list, right? We need to categorize each time someone comes into our platform and opts in for whatever it is, free or paid. We need to categorize them so that we know how to email market them, right? The right sequences to send to them. Because if all of a sudden I start saying to you all in this Facebook group, hey, thanks so much for coming on the webinar. I hope you got tons of value. Here are the things that we covered. Don't forget, as mentioned on the webinar, click here to opt in for that freebie. You would literally be like, what is she talking about? This makes no sense, right? And likewise, if I start talking to these webinar people and say like, hey, I'm live today in the Facebook group. I can't wait to see you in. Make sure that, you have your pen and your paper and your funnels open. They would be like, Facebook group? What Facebook group? I didn't know she had a Facebook group, right? So that's where a lot of the email marketing falls off when you don't have different lists and tags organized well. So I hope I'm no need to share anymore, but I hope that makes sense. Because as you start growing all of this, what you're essentially doing is you have your freebie list, you have your low ticket, your medium ticket, your high ticket. You're not going to keep offering your high ticket something you would offer your freebies, right? Because like they don't really give a shit anymore. You've got them, you're working with them, they've paid for you. They do not want you spamming them with email marketing on little freebies that they've already gotten in their high ticket anyways, right? So they're going to feel completely unaligned. And then they're going to wonder like, why am I working with this professional when she's not even sending me the right messages, right? Same thing with like the freebie group. You're not going to keep pushing a high ticket. You're going to funnel them up, right? You're going to obviously gain more confidence and clarity around you and funnel them up instead of just being like, buy my $1,000, buy my $1,000, drop $1,000 with me. So it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really align well. And that's where I feel like email marketing really, really falls off. And a lot of people say email marketing is dead because they're not marketing the right message to the right groups. So they're getting really large unsubscribed numbers. And then of course they're getting zero conversions into sales or booking calls or whatever that call to action is. So I hope that kind of wraps everything up for you. So I think it could be tomorrow potentially. Let's see. Is it tomorrow? Let me look at my schedule. Okay. Yep. So tomorrow we do discuss automations. So I'm actually going to build out a funnel sequence for you, starting with that first confirmation and then going into different actions that they take and whatnot. So it's going to get kind of technical tomorrow, but I hope you enjoy it. All right. That's it for today, ladies. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.